underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Beyond.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Beyond, episode 326. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside he only does everything, Colin Moriarty.
It's good to see you, Greg.
It's good to see you, Colin. You've been gone. You've been over in New York. I missed you little bastard.
Yeah, it's good to see you today.
How long have you been gone? How long have you been gone?
I don't know. 4 days.
You went to a wedding in Long Island?
Yep, on Long Island.
On Long Island. What? That's the difference?
Yeah, it's on Long Island. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
that's how you know if you're from there or not. That's
really?
what you say. Yeah.
You're on the island.
That's
not
the only
in
way.
The island?
That's the secret password.
That's it.
Interesting. I guess
And
that
if you
makes
could
sense.
say words like Ronkonkoma.
Ronkonkoma?
Yeah.
All right.
And Patchogue.
How was the wedding? You got recognized twice at this thing.
Yeah, I did. And it was strange. One gentleman. So I went to a local restaurant in my hometown.
A local eatery.
Called Avino's Italian Table.
It's on your hometown.
It is on my hometown. And it's owned by the family of my friend, actually, Mike Avino, who I went to high school with. He's a nice guy. I actually saw him at a wedding last time.
He's a nice guy, I guess.
He's
my
a nice
friend
guy.
and
Well,
whatever.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen him in a long time. I want to act like we're chummy, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And we were friends when we were in high school. And so I went there with my father and my girlfriend, and it was funny. We were just eating and enjoying ourselves. I had some pasta and meatballs, some sausages.
Yeah.
And the
Was it
meatball
good?
spelled out Beyond.
And meatballs there, so yeah, it was great. And but at one point, this woman, one of the waitresses, comes up to our table and first talk. This is the best part. I haven't told anyone the story because the only people that know it are the ones that were there. She comes up to the table, starts talking to my dad, and was like, "We're so honored that you'd come to our restaurant or whatever. We were, one of our employees wants your autograph or whatever. This really happened. Or whatever." My dad was like,
What?
okay, but then they left the table. My dad's like, "What the hell was that all about?" And who do they think I am? And we were for like 15, 20 minutes. We were trying to figure out who we thought that they thought my dad was, because my dad's been like, someone thought my dad was Keith Richards once, which was the best. And so we went on and on, but then Cheryl got a text message from her sister. Now follow this along.
I love how this story's going already.
So
Cheryl's your girlfriend, by the way.
Cheryl's my girlfriend. She has 3 sisters, 4 girls in the family, whatever. And her oldest sister, Jackie, texts her. Now, when we walked into the restaurant, Cheryl ran into a waitress who is Jackie's friend. Okay, so you following this so far?
Yeah.
So Jackie's friend texts Jackie that one of the busboys is freaking out because I'm there. Jackie texts Cheryl that. Then we finally realized that the other waitress that was sent as a proxy thought that they were talking about my dad. But they were actually talking about me.
I love your podcast, sir.
And so anyway, long story short, I signed a little, beyond, like on a blank check, like, beyond.
Don't do that.
No, not like the movie, not like the classic movie.
Oh, like a blank check you get at the restaurant.
Yeah,
you get the guest check thing.
exactly.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And but then when I was walking out, I took a picture with the guy who was really super nice. He tweeted it out.
Yeah.
Super nice guy, but it was a funny story. I thought, it's a little embarrassing for me. I'm honored and humbled by that, of course. But like my dad, I'm just eating a restaurant in my hometown, and with my dad, and my dad gets to witness this, which I thought was like really funny.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then when we went to the wedding, another guy was just in the buffet line. This is a classic Long Island Italian wedding, so you're just eating the entire time. Like you have like the little cocktail hour,
right?
And people are just drinking and walking around. But this cocktail hour on Long Island at an Italian wedding, you're also eating like huge sums of food that are like laid out in buffets all over the place. It's like I've never seen anything like it. But we ate dinner later, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a 4-course. I was like, all right. So I'm like getting my risotto. And
Gotta have the risotto.
And some guy walks up to me. She's like, "Oh shit, Colin from IGN. How are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm good." He's like, "Who the bride or the groom?" And I'm like, "The groom's my girlfriend's cousin." And he's like, "All right, have fun." And that was it. That was the last time I ever saw him. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, I was a little long and belabored.
No, we liked it. That's what Podcast Beyond's all about. Of course, next to the Pride of Long Island is the Dark Knight News, Angel Goldfarb.
Hey, I forgot I hadn't been introduced yet.
What weddings did you get recognized at this weekend?
The one I had in my fever dream while I was homesick.
Oh, you were sick? I didn't know that.
That was yesterday.
Well,
that was it. Okay,
that was it.
What were you sick with? The malaria?
It was like a achy coffee.
Breaky heart?
It was like an achy, breaky heart. No, it was like aches and fever rather than coffee, sneezy, sick.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm always that hot.
You're better now, though? You feel better now?
I feel better.
You're part of the hot crew. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Then let's talk a little bit about what we're doing. This is Podcast Beyond.
That's
Number
another
one
new room.
PlayStation podcast on the internet. It is in a brand new podcast room. We've been moved again. So let's try to track it if we can through this building alone. Not even the old IGN building.
Second floor.
Yeah, we were on second floor.
And then
we came up to
the real podcast room, the demo room now.
Okay.
And then
the room over there.
The bay.
Yeah.
and now
And
here,
now
so
here.
it's 4.
So 4.
In the
Okay.
old
But-
office, we were in 3 different ones. So this is 7.
Right.
This is the 7th or 8th place that we've recorded Podcast Beyond.
But don't forget that
Wow.
if you want to count it, in the other bay, there was also the major structural shift when it went from the original to the...
I don't know what that even
the
means.
video you're talking about.
Yeah, like when they rearranged that room, if you want to count that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know.
Okay.
But now we're in a rounder
So far.
table. You happy with that, Colin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
this is
sick
way
of that
better.
other
This
table,
is a nice setup so far. I'm
that
really
setup
happy
was
with
no
what
good.
they've done. You can, of course, see the video. The Podcast Beyond posts as an MP3 every Tuesday on your podcast service of choice on IGN.com, and then IGN.com and YouTube.com/IGN get the video version on Wednesday.
Yeah,
if I get around to
I
it.
tell like it is, Greg, and that setup in the other room, no good. Nope.
It was better.
I
It
felt
was
like I
better than
doing-
nothing.
I felt like was it?
Yeah.
Was it better
Yeah.
than nothing?
It was better than us on the corner not doing the show.
Well, we could have just done it, with microphones in another room that were
Well, that's what
at a
happened.
table
Now we're
where
here.
we could sit. And
Remember the
look at
time
each
we
other.
recorded it in the lobby because we were just annoyed that nothing was working?
Right. Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah.
So far, so good with this room, though, right?
Yeah, no, I like
right
this room.
computer I can't look at easily. All right, good. Just making sure it's still working.
You can move that
Yes,
table.
Greg.
Oh my God! You talked a little bit about fans recognizing you and you having a fever. But back to the fan thing. We have a package here that's Attention Podcast Beyond. It just arrived today. It
Where's
looks
it
like
from?
it's
Looks like it's from Europe.
no, it's from Denver, Colorado.
Absolutely doesn't look like it's from
It was shipped to Pod Space Cast Space Beyond.
Let me see.
It's because they
Jonathan
probably
Adar.
I think the way the UPS form works, they probably had to put like first name podcast, last name beyond.
Don't do that. Don't try to.
What if it's a bunch of illegal
Do you
marijuana?
think there's a child? Do you think there's
Wow.
a child named podcast out there somewhere?
Yes, of course there's.
There's a baby. Remember there was a
Tearing
big
it
story
open.
about a baby named Espen after ESPN?
I don't
Back in
remember
the
that.
day?
Oh.
Tearaway.
It's a copy of Tearaway. It's still sealed. Tearaway, and the note says, "Dear Podcast Beyond crew, I've been a listener since 2009. I've enjoyed hundreds of hours of Podcast Beyond. Thank you so much for the laughs and commentary. I received an extra copy of Tearaway for Christmas. Maybe you could give this away to a Vita-owning Podcast Beyonder. John in Colorado." Aww.
that's
Awesome.
nice.
I just opened it. No.
No, it's worth nothing now.
Inside the case is a quarter ounce of marijuana. From Colorado.
We're gonna get like we all get arrested for like drug trafficking. Oh, look, it's got a new Best of E3 award. Sure, we'll do that, John. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to get this copy of Tearaway, you need to live in the United States because it's easy for me to mail things there, and then email beyond@ign.com. Subject line Tearaway. Inside have your name and address, and I will pick one at random, and you can send good vibes to John. Let's make him Hit of the Week. Of course, Hit of the Week on Podcast Beyond means that we give you the PSN name. Just let it fucking go, all right? Why you gotta do this to me in front of all my friends?
I thought it was good, Greg.
Thank you, Goldfarb.
Get out of here.
You want to go
still in
to...
your fever dream.
Anyways, you plug his name into the PSN, you friend him, you drop him a nice little message there, you say hi to John. His PSN is Demonic Lemming. DEMONIC Lemming.
Leming.
LEMMING, all one word. So there you go. What a nice young boy this John is.
Yeah, no, that was really nice.
Tearaway, though. Crap game, sadly.
You're the worst.
Am I really?
Crap game.
It's just... Here we go. Mert wrote into Podcast
Mert.
Mert. I don't make up the names sometimes. He wrote into Podcast Beyond, and he says, "Now that all members of Beyond have finished Tearaway, I would like to hear more of your thoughts on it, especially Colin. He mentioned it was his number 3 pick for Game of the Year, and Greg, you were lukewarm on it, while Goldfarb was a big fan. What do you think makes this game special or not special? I beat it, and I think it maybe just wasn't for me. Fun? Sure. Unique? Definitely. But I felt a lack of substance and meat while cutting paper with the touchscreen was often frustrating."
I didn't beat it.
Okay.
But
Thank you for being honest about
it.
that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can see my trophies easily enough.
Sure.
I
I just lie about it. I'm like, oh, must have glitched out. I don't know. I still get emails about or tweets about The Last of Us because I have no Last of Us trophies.
Oh, you
'Cause
play it
they're-
on debug, don't
Yeah,
you?
they still on a debug.
You're just making it up.
Yeah.
So
You're like, oh, this is
That was
crazy
my
when
favorite.
Ellie-
I think during the spoiler cast, somebody asked that question, and I said, "All right, confession. I've never beaten The Last of Us." And there's this long pause, and Brian Altano's jaw drops. He's like, "Really?" Anyways,
so good.
Tearaway. We were all over the place. Goldfarb, you loved it the most.
I liked it a lot, yeah. Although, if it was your number 3 pick for Game of the Year, you might have liked it more than me.
Yeah, I mean, well, based on the games that we picked
Yeah.
for Game of the Year, yeah.
You mean out of the?
Out of the
Oh,
out of those 10 games.
out of those 10.
Well, you
okay.
can see my top 10 games. You know, if Resogun was nominated, I would have nominated that.
Right,
If
okay.
Nino Kuni was nominated, I would have nominated that.
That makes more
But based
sense. I
on the
get that.
10 games, which didn't
Made the
all
cut.
jive with me at all.
Yeah, yeah.
That that was just third by proxy basically, because it was close between that and Zelda.
Right.
But Zelda is just Link to the Past, as we've already talked about. So
Yeah.
maybe I would have nominated A Link Between Worlds in 1991. when it first came out. But since Tearaway was like a newer and fresher experience, I actually was surprised by how much I enjoyed playing it. I never got around to beating it, but I played it for quite a long time, and I liked it.
Yeah.
It was cute.
I like it a lot. I find it interesting that for me, like I find it interesting this little role reversal because for me, what I liked about it was everything I liked about Little Big Planet when I first played it, like just in terms of being whimsical and adorable. And I find it funny that you guys are swapping roles here. Suddenly you're the curmudgeon and he's the fun-loving dude.
This is what we always talk about, there being a spectrum of it, right? And you always came out on Podcast Beyond so much in love with it that I always felt like I had to be more not more negative, right? But
to
then
balance me out.
It's not crap game. I knew I would do it to annoy you or whatever. Like it's fine. It's just like my thing with Tearaway was I just never felt into it. You know what I mean? Like I never like you're talking about Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet I felt always had a clear objective of get to the end of the level, have the highest score. You know what I mean? Like that made sense. Whereas Tearaway is just like you're running around this thing, and man, there's a present for you to open, and is that I'm going to take a photo to get that thing. Oh, that's just a white tree. I didn't even know. Okay, that was a waste of my time, and like I don't know. I felt for me the world felt empty. Like people talk about like it was up. I think for best graphics. I don't know if it was overall, but in Vita for sure. Obviously, it might even won. I don't remember. But it was just like for me, I felt the environments were really empty. Like I get what they were going for in the art style and how cute it is, and don't get me wrong, but for me, the world just felt I don't know, half done. It didn't really feel like this like awesome experience.
That's fair.
And plus, my fat fingers never really worked well with it. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm the first one to complain about every gimmicky feature on Vita in games, but for me, I never once had any kind of problem with any of the touchy stuff or the shaky stuff or the turny stuff. Yeah, I totally understand that though. I think for me, like it was that moment. Like I just had these little like awesome surprise moments, like when you first come to water and you step into it, and it's the little paper ripples.
Right,
and, like,
right.
When you get to like an area where there's like the ripples in the wind, and then like later when you're in like a nighttime environment. I don't know. I just always really liked, and like I designed a flame, and then that flame appeared throughout the game. Like for me, all that stuff was so charming. It just won me over. But like I guess if it doesn't click with you early, then like you're not gonna. Yeah. So I don't blame you for that. You're allowed.
Okay. Well, no, I wasn't asking for your permission.
Yeah. Well, you have it anyway.
I get that enough.
You get my permission and you have Media Molecule's permission.
Oh, thank you. I doubt I have their permission. Speaking of what?
No, I was just saying speaking by proxy.
Oh, okay. I think that you're
Rex and Shaban.
For Rex and Shaban, exactly.
You're a duly noted representative of Media Molecule. I think you're.
I really like Media Molecule.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin Podcast Beyond with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news.
I like making eye contact with you now.
I do too. Look at it. We just stare into each other's eyes the whole show.
The whole time and ignore Colin's dumb thing he's about to read.
Well, there's 18 items on the Roper Report.
Hey.
Namco Bandai said this JRPG might one day
Banco
come in. You mess with one New Yorker, you mess with all of us. Come on, Spidey.
I like how every time I try and say Bandai Namco, I'm saying Banco Namdai, which is just the
it's
saddest.
Like Garfeth. It's like Goldfarb's Garfeth.
Goldfarb's Garfeth, exactly.
There are 11 items on the list.
Almost
I've
a dozen.
heard enough.
Wow, almost.
One short of a dozen,
yeah.
two short of a baker's dozen.
Number 1. It's been essentially confirmed that Left Behind will be the only single-player DLC for The Last of Us. Word comes from Naughty Dog's Eric Monticelli, but it should just be who said on the PlayStation blog. That the studio has no more single-player DLC planned, and that it will next work on multiplayer DLC, which I'm super excited about. Considering Uncharted 4
Can't wait for those hats.
No, I mean new maps. Considering Uncharted 4 is also in development, it's safe to assume the team will be moving on after TLU's limited support early this year.
I'm moving on.
Number 2.
Do we care? That's good. I'm glad they have a story. They're not milking it. Here you go.
Wanted more, but
I mean, especially like what happened with
Barry Let's See.
With Barry Let's See, exactly. Like they split in 2 parts. The first part was really short, and then you're getting kind of a meteor second part. Like I actually would have preferred just one long episode somewhere in the middle there. So I think that's actually better.
Indeed. Colin, stop texting. Who are you texting? Girlfriend?
Yeah.
It's not me, so it's got to be your girlfriend.
I'm checking
what
work
is she
email.
saying? What's happened?
Good radio.
What I want to do for dinner.
Oh, what do you want to do?
House of noodles.
Oh, okay, cool. I think I'm making ribs. Looking forward to
Where are you getting ribs?
Making them.
Oh, you're making them?
Yeah, I like making them ribs.
Ooh. Number 2. Did you get them from Andronico's?
Of course.
How much did you pay for those? Like $7,000?
Yeah,
it's not that
3
bad.
times as much.
You're like Andronicos and you are kind of like Portillo and you, where you put up a good talk, but then you go there and then all week you're like, I gotta give it up to Andronicos. This is some good turkey.
Yeah, they do have the good turkey. I paid $15 a pound for it.
We walked there. It was like on Christmas Day. Nothing was open. We walked there to get Coke for you, and then they didn't have it, so they went to that shitty little convenience store, and you paid like $9 for a fucking little thing of Coke.
That's the way it goes.
Good fun.
It's the way it is, man. Tupac knew.
Number 2.
Yeah. That's what the song was about.
Sony is teasing a new hardware announcement, which will occur in Europe on Thursday, January 30th.
What could it be?
It notes that, quote, following the biggest launch in PlayStation history, join us for an introduction to the slimmest, end quote. This is almost certainly an allusion to the slim PlayStation Vita model released in Japan last year, but we'll have to wait for confirmation. If that's true and my price is right, I'm already winning the predictions bet.
Well, unless this is a European-only event. So if they announce it for Europe, what did you say? Well, no. Sure. Did you say the West or did you say North America?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even remember.
If it comes to Europe, I think it will come to the States.
Well, of course, I agree with that. But I think
so. Then it's back to Greg Miller's prediction: 2 colors, September. That was my prediction.
September.
Yeah.
No.
That's late.
That'll be out. It'll be on shelves by April.
Y'all be late.
Y'all be late. I think I love that people are speculating that this might be something other than the Vita Slim.
Well, Scott Lowe and I did a conversation about it, which I'll embed in the IGN article for Podcast Beyond. And we're totally, it's got to be the Slim, but it could also kind of be the Vita TV, right? They could.
I was thinking that, or so many people have been saying, I'm seeing a lot of in the comments for that article. People are like, "Oh, it's clearly a new PS3 model." And it's like, why would they do that now?
Here's one even
PS3
cheaper.
model?
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. So I agree. I think it is 90% PS Vita Slim with an outside shot of it being PS Vita TV. Although I agree with Scott, who has said this many times, that PS Vita TV almost doesn't make sense here yet because there isn't the infrastructure for it.
I can understand that.
I think it'll be the Slim.
I do too.
I think if they're not doing it for the U.S., it's because they're waiting for GDC or something. They're just waiting for an event rather than holding a separate standalone thing.
Makes sense.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Minecraft finally launched on PlayStation 3 on December 17th, 2013, and it has already sold over 1 million copies. That's a lot of copies, of course, but it's nothing compared to how it sold on Xbox 360 and PC, where it sold 10 million and 13 million copies, respectively.
Yeah, but to sell 1 million in less than a month, 3 years after launch, is pretty damn good.
Charlie Gadsden writes into Beyond at IGN.com, just like you can to be part of the show, and he says, "Hi, Beyond crew.
Hello.
Any news for Minecraft on PS4? I've been watching Greg and Brian play it on PS3, and it looks like a lot of fun. I want to buy it so bad for PS3, but the simple fact that Minecraft PS4 is slated for, quote, 2014 release, end quote, makes me not want to pull the trigger. In your honest opinion, should I buy Minecraft PS3 or hold out for the PS4 Vita versions?"
I would be surprised, and I could be wrong, but most of these games that are going from PS3 to PS4 have been cross-save, right? So
Sure.
Or at least cross-buy, even if not cross-save. So it's I think if
you're saying that if you bought it on PS3 now, it should unlock there.
Right, exactly. I don't know if your save will, but your purchase will. So it's if you're itching to play it now, and then you might just start over. But
I'm hesitant that would happen because you see, it's happening for games like Flower and Escape Plan, but games that
stuff.
Sony's super involved with, like Minecraft. I don't know what it'll actually be.
True.
Now, granted, it's the same second party or whatever it would be. They're same whatever. The third party people who are porting it over are the same people doing all the other versions. So hopefully that would be awesome. I mean, right now, it's one of those things where if you've held out this long playing Minecraft, you might as well try to hold out a little bit longer. I mean, even playing it on PS3, I dig it. Colin was watching me fool around last night. We had a conversation during it. But I'm really excited for the Vita version, right? Because right now, what I did over the weekend, right, is that I'm playing Minecraft on the big screen, but then on my iPad, I'm watching Being Human and having that hooked up to surround sound. So it's I'd rather reverse those roles and have the Minecraft on Vita and the TV show I want to watch on.
Yeah, I put a very small amount of time into Minecraft on PC at first, and then the only other time I've really played it was I had a long plane ride and I got the mobile version. I put a lot of time in the iPhone version, but I just don't really play it on my phone that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vita would be the sweet spot for me. I feel like that's where I would finally put real time into it.
Yeah, I think it'll be crazy when it does. But there's no news on that. They've given no dates other than...
They did. So at that press conference, Colin and I were there, but I don't remember it. They did say PS3, PS4, Vita, though, right? It's at least announced for all.
No, it's totally announced.
Okay,
no, it's coming. It's just there's no when. But then in the same breath, there was no real word on PS3.
Right.
It was just one day, it's oh, by the way, it's coming out in 2 weeks. You're holy crap, awesome.
Yeah.
They wanted to get the PS3 one out first because it's the least timely of them.
And I would assume it's it'll be sooner rather than later as far as I don't think you're waiting until the fall for this. So I would certainly think it'll be first half of the year.
Yeah, I want the Vita version.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I'm worried about. Though.
The game looks
PS4
fun.
is going to be great, I'm sure. It'll be probably just the same as PS3. But Vita, I'm is it going to run well? Is it going to do this?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I have watched Greg play it quite extensively. The game is just the stupidest thing, but it really is
stupid in the best way games can be.
Exactly. It's just I watched it. And I remember making fun of him when he was playing it or whatever for a while. And I'm I slowly as time went on and I watched more and more. I'm I get it. There's something obviously to this game. It's the best selling game of God knows what. But it's a funny little game. I can see how you can get really into it, and I'm gonna wait for the Vita version. Number 4.
What happened to your cell phone case, man? They're like $10.
No,
What's
I
wrong
can't.
with it?
I can't do
It's
it.
just all broken down, crappy.
It's all the top of it's hanging off. Look at that.
Show it to the camera. This is why you watch the video
it's from
version.
the front is where.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Yeah,
this is all broken
Golly.
off. This is broken.
It's
this
because
is broken.
I got a
it
Ghostbusters
happened
one.
because I used to have to go like this to put my headphones in because I had like a fat plug or whatever.
Yeah.
Which then started to bend this, which then started to break this over. But I don't really give a flying fuck.
We have an extra one in the office.
I have an extra one at home. I just don't want to use it.
I have a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 one. You can have for free.
No, I'll pass on that. Number 4. If it was Call of Duty Ghosts Extinction Mode, then I'd be interested.
You've been
in
playing
it.
a lot
I'll
of
write that on there.
I've been playing an absurd amount of that. I have no idea why. Number 4. EverQuest Next has officially been confirmed for PlayStation 4.
Wait, isn't that a multiplayer mode?
Yeah, it sure is.
Wow.
Unfortunately, there's no word on when it will find its way to Sony's new console. PlanetSide 2, which has already been revealed for PS4, is officially set to come to console this year by way of Sony Online Entertainment.
SOE's been good to PS4.
Yeah.
They got that
Naturally.
DCUO day
Right.
one. They got
The
not
best
day one,
MMO.
but- Yeah. Well, an MMO certainly.
It's an MMO. Now that game,
Indisputable.
I could write you a book on how that game just appears to me as being the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. But
I would 100% read that book.
But Greg loves it.
Yeah.
Greg loves it.
You watch it. You see. You understand.
No, I really don't understand. I mean, that's the thing. I understand a lot of things, but Minecraft I understand. Number 5. Sony has revealed that a Sly Cooper movie is in the works. Rainmaker Entertainment and Blockade Entertainment, have undertaken the project, which is due out in theaters in 2016. The game is supposed to... The movie is supposed to stay true to established Sly canon, and it's unclear if the theatrical release will coincide with a possible Sly Cooper 5, which was teased at the end of Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. You can find out much more about the film on IGN. I think these are the guys that are also doing the Ratchet movie that was announced last year.
Good thing they're not spreading themselves too thin.
No, definitely not.
I don't want to be mean.
Oh, here we go.
I
Goldfarb bringing out his teeth.
I really don't like the way those characters look in,
really?
in that teaser. I think Sly looks really bad, especially, and Murray too. I just was not like.
Bentley looks good.
Yeah, Bentley looks fine.
I didn't watch it.
I haven't watched it yet either. Is it the same voices and everything?
So at least very similar. Yeah, I think it might even be the same. Let me just show you. It doesn't have to be now. You can fill some time, but I'm going to show you a picture of what they.
I've seen the cover on IGN.
Oh, so yeah.
So I've seen the Sly Cooper.
Like they made them.
looks.
It's this weird hybrid of looking like an actual raccoon and looking like Sly, but it's so weird. It just doesn't play well for me. For me, I mean, maybe everyone else loves it. I just think the art style is so weird.
Okay.
Number 6.
Could be great. Who knows?
Number 6.
I'm weird looking too, and I'm okay.
Oh,
Number 6.
you're great.
Oh, you.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6. The Elder Scrolls Online will not require a PlayStation Plus subscription to play on PlayStation 4. Clarification came by way of the game's director, Matt Fuhrer, who answered that PS4's iteration of the game will be subject to the same subscription PC gamers will have to play. I can't speak today. The question was no doubt fueled by Xbox's typical requirement to have a gold account to play games online, which is technically 2 subscriptions.
I called this last week. I pulled a Colin Moriarty, went on GameScoop, said, "There's no way they're gonna make you charge for this." And yeah, I had my seizure. But yeah, that's great. I seem to be in the minority, but I'm super stoked for that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into Skyrim in general because I'm just not a big melee combat kind of dude. But like, if you're into Skyrim, like this seems awesome.
See, my thing is,
seem like a bigger open Skyrim, basically.
I got off track with Skyrim, right, because of something coming up, and then it went to crap on PS3. We found out, and yada yada yada. But I put like 25, 30 hours into it. Really enjoyed myself, and now I'm really itching to go back to it, but I'm not going to. Like, I'd rather wait for this or something, or like a Game of the Year edition PS4 kind of thing. Like, I don't want to. I'm trying to get away from my PS3. That's one of the reasons I want Minecraft so bad on PS4 and Vita, right? Just so I can stop going back there and changing hookups and doing all this stupid stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat. Like anything I can just move. And it's funny because like I'm not putting as much time on my PS4 as I would, probably because I still have my PS3.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
And like Lightning Returns is coming out, and like there's BioShock DLC, Last of Us DLC, Persona 5 at some point. It's a hard life.
It's an MMO, so I'll pass. But I'm sure it'll be great. By the way, my memory of Greg playing Skyrim is that he would. I remember walking into the to the living room, and he was just walking silently. This was you, I think, right?
Yeah.
It was Mike in a house, crouched down to cheat so he can raise his stealth statistics.
Whenever I think of,
and he was just walking in a corner for like.
When I think of Skyrim, there's a now defunct podcast, but I used to listen to it called Washington's Beard, and I would listen to it be recorded live with Skyrim on mute, and I would sit in the living room and listen to them record it. But like, yeah, there was one day where I spent like 2 hours maxing out my stealth by using that cheat, where I went into like. Whatever, the monk's like monastery, and like you crouch behind them, You hit him once, he gets alerted, but you get the point for being stealthy. Then when he goes back to being normal, you hit him again. So you just sit there and like hit. You just like ting, ting, ting. That was a fun game.
That game. And then it stopped running.
Yeah. I did that with pickpocketing in Fallout 3. You had to get or New Vegas, I think it was. You had to get like 100 pickpockets for one of the trophies, and I just
I never platinumed New Vegas. That's a hard one.
Yep.
That's a legit hard platinum. Fallout 3 wasn't that hard, just time consuming. Number 7. Good news, Greg.
Yeah?
Infamous Second Son will not include multiplayer. Rumors swirled on whether or not Second Son will bring the established franchise to the multiplayer realm, but it's been confirmed to be a single-player experience. Now, whether or not Infamous 2's slant on user-generated content will make a return or not remains to be seen, but we'll find out soon enough whether Second Son finally launches in March.
That had to be such a time sink of resources that just did not pay off in the end.
Yeah, well, especially like
plus you had to cheat to get the trophies and shit.
Their missions were awesome, and then like the actual user ones were pretty.
Yeah, because people. I remember. So I platinumed it long before most people did because we had it so early.
Yeah.
But I remember that people, when I would go back and check user-generated content, would make one specifically to help people get farm trophies, which was nice. Those people did that on Literally Planet too.
No, you say good news. You said good news.
Jeff writes into beyond@ign.com and says, Beyond. Sucker Punch has confirmed that Infamous Second Son is single-player only. I am absolutely thrilled that I will not have to waste my time on a mindless multiplayer experience like the upcoming Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. What do you guys think?
Well, I think, like, trust me, I am in the same boat every single time. I never play multiplayer modes. I've like obviously like BioShock 2 and Dead Space 2 and all those things were tacked on, not great. But like I don't know, a first-party Sony studio had incredible multiplayer in an incredible single-player game last year. Like I mean, if Sucker Punch had introduced multiplayer, I'm confident it would have been something creative and interesting. So I don't know. I see this as interesting news, but I don't see it as good news.
I mean, Jeff's in here preaching to the choir, right? Like it's one of those things. Like none of us are super. I'd rather have an awesome single player game with no multiplayer,
of course.
And then when we talk about trophies, I'd rather have the Uncharted model of here's an awesome single player and here's 2 trophies for trying multiplayer. Like that was a killer for me with Last of Us, right? Like I understand why Last of Us multiplayer is so great. It's not what I want to do at all. So like I will never platinum Last of Us. Like I'm never gonna do that.
I got those multiplayer trophies. It's a grind.
You liked it a lot, but you liked it. That's the thing. It connected with you. It resonated. For me, I was like, oh, now once you started playing it, right? I always talk about I saw what it was, saw how it was cool, but I was like, not how I want to spend my time.
I became good at it too.
Even in DC Universe Online, I don't like playing online. Like I don't like playing multiplayer stuff. I'd rather have more story content and run around and do this stuff.
Exactly, like DCUO, you never play online. I'm just saying that I think good news would have been, hey, Sucker Punch has this really awesome multiplayer mode where you can steal powers from each other, and it's this really crazy.
Sure, but then we're going back to the same thing that they feel like they have to put that in there.
Yeah, I mean that's true. If it's clearly Sony doesn't have that mandate because like it's coming out single player, and so this in some ways I think makes it interesting if another first party game does eventually come out with multiplayer, because I would like to think it's them adding something for a reason.
We are feeling like we need,
and
to do this.
That's what I feel like Naughty Dog is. Naughty Dog, I feel like they talk about it like they weren't told to do this. They talk about it like, hey, this is a really cool thing that we thought enriched the experience and gave it a little, gave you replayability, gave you a way to stick with the game longer. So I don't know, like I agree. I probably wouldn't have played it if there's multiplayer. I love the fact that all the resources are into single player.
Yeah,
but I do think that I would like to think we're getting to the point where multiplayer modes are there for a reason. Like I think it's not that back of the box check mark anymore that helps games sell, because I don't think it's been proven a few times that crappy multiplayer modes don't matter.
Yeah.
Like Arkham Origins, I don't think did better because it had that weird multiplayer mode in it. So I think good multiplayer modes are starting to get recognized, and I think the requirement for bad ones is hopefully starting to fade.
It's what we always talk about. It's a war of attrition, right? Like let's say 1% of your audience stops and doesn't sell the game back because there's multiplayer. Is that enough? Is that is that the win for you guys? I don't know.
Yeah.
Number 8.
I was gonna see how long we could go just to silent
That was a nice moment, though.
Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn finally has a release date on PlayStation 4. Look for it on April 14th.
Oh!
I lost a bet with I think it was Nick Colin because of this, I guess, who I haven't talked to in 1,000 years. But at the time, I said it would never actually materialize on PS4.
Really? Even after the beta and everything?
Yeah. Well, this was before Realm Reborn and stuff, but I just it wasn't doing well, and I was like.
But then you won, kind of, right? Because they changed the game, they redid it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. This is a different game.
Yeah. Is it officially out on PC yet, or no? Is this the same?
14 Realm Reborn is. Yeah, this is. I think.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
I remember the beta. Me and Destin did a bunch of videos when it was happening. I just don't remember whatever happened.
I'm pretty sure it's officially out now. I don't know though. I've never I've played almost every. I think I missed 1 or 2, but I've played pretty much every numbered Final Fantasy except 11 and 14 because those aren't my jams.
My respective jams.
Oh, there we go. PS4. That's the confusion. That's where I'm hung up.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about PS4.
I know.
This is a PlayStation
podcast.
But did it ever come then to PS3? Is my question. Then.
Oh, yeah, it is on PS3.
Thank you. This is where I was confused. Love you all. Goodbye.
Oh, I was confused too because I obviously
what was the last time
I was talking
Greg
about
got really
PS3
hung
as
up
well.
on something that was weird?
Oh,
Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's what it was. Number 9. When we were talking about Telltale's Game of Thrones.
Oh, right. It's one of those normal things where I
changed.
changed the thing and then I came back and I was lost at what we're talking about.
Number 9.
It wasn't 10 minutes.
It was a 10-minute.
It was not.
Wow, 45 minutes. I heard.
Number 9. GameStop's German website currently features listings for 2 games, Beyond Good and Evil 2 and a game known only as Batman. Both are listed as Xbox One games, though it's quite safe to assume they're multi-platform. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is technically announced and has long been in development at Ubisoft. Batman will obviously continue unabated in gaming form, though who's working on this new project remains to be seen.
I mean, that's what we've talked about forever, right? That it's got to be Rocksteady. And after they finish
Rocksteady, Kevin Conroy,
exactly.
Next Gen.
Yeah,
that'd be so nice. Yeah, I would
Because
like
remember, it was after Arkham City was out that then all the confusion happened where now Batman Arkham Origins is coming out. Great. Kevin Conroy isn't Batman. Kevin Conroy says at Dallas Comic Con he is. He's been working on the new Batman game for 9 months and it's amazing. Then Batman Arkham Origins comes out and that ain't Kevin Conroy. So clearly Kevin Conroy is senile and has been working on the next Batman game, which you'd assume is still with Rocksteady, which since it's not announced or out, you'd hope is next gen.
Yeah, and I think it got even more confusing because Variety published a story shortly after the release of Arkham City where they said it's going to be a Silver Age prequel, and everyone's like, oh, well, Arkham Origins isn't a Silver Age prequel, but Arkham Origins is a prequel and features villains from Silver Age.
See, remember, that was my whole argument when they started, is that when that announcement came out, I said, there's no way that's going to happen. It's got to be that they're pulling Silver Age elements, but they were talking about a Justice League game. Yeah. So now the hope is that Rocksteady's working on a Batman game where he meets up with Superman, Batman 1, or he meets his own Batman. He meets up with the Justice League and goes out, and it's a Silver Age storyline or something.
I mean, look, if they are smart, they are... Because, look, we already know officially that, Wonder Woman's in Batman vs. Superman. That's coming a couple summers from now. Like, if they're smart, not that it's a tie-in game, but if they're smart, it would make sense to do a Justice League thing timed somewhere around.
Well, you figure they can totally go they can be the video game Marvel Avengers and go the opposite route, where they do this. We introduce Batman, or we introduce Superman and Wonder Woman, and then they get 2 games out of that. That maybe WB Montreal does one and somebody else does somebody else.
That would be really cool.
I would just die.
Yeah.
And live on in games. How often do you think about just how great it would be to quit work and just play whatever you want all day at home?
I don't know.
God, I think about it all the time. If I could be independently wealthy.
If you just had money. It's like
play DC Universe all day long.
What if we, every Thursday, started buying a lottery ticket, you and I? We just, on Thursday, we go get a American Sub Shop sandwich located on 2nd Street in sunny California.
Whenever you're in California, eat at American.
Get American Sub Shop. Head over, buy a lottery ticket.
Where do we buy? I am down. Yeah, we'll do this.
The liquor store over by the Melt.
Okay,
lottery tickets.
Cool. Done. In. Yep. Thursday's no good for me. Up at noon.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let's say Wednesdays.
Okay.
Or Fridays. It'll be the end of the week tradition.
Okay.
And then the week we win, what are we doing? Scratch off? Or are we buying?
No, I thought we'd be
doing the numbers for the real.
Yeah.
So we'll do it every Friday.
We're buying one ticket, right? So it's like 1 week I'll buy, next week you'll buy,
and then we split. We split 50-50.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Did they? What day did they announce lottery winners?
Who the hell knows? We'll figure this out later.
Okay.
Number 10.
I really want in the comments and tweets, I want to know how many people have stopped to look at their phones. Did I bump it? What's happening? New vans of nuns are being flipped as people are checking their MP3.
Perhaps but in why someone would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
In the video version, you can see some interesting eye contact throughout this podcast.
Right.
Number 10.
Collect them all.
Namco Bandai has officially changed its name, reversing the words to now read Bandai Namco.
Why? What?
Now, this was already done in Japan. The company has long been referred to as Bandai Namco in the East. And this move was being done to unify the company's global image. Bandai Namco is best known for its Tale series of RPGs, Pac-Man, Dark Souls, and many other games over the last 30 years.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that name change there, boy?
It's been like that in Japan for a long time. I was always confused why they didn't do it.
He tears open his shirt. He's got the Namco Bandai.
There's all sorts of weird rules over there too with those 2 companies because when I was in Tokyo and I was at their headquarters to talk to the guys that were doing Tales. Yeah, their headquarters. Yes.
Call it HQ.
HQ. Their HQ, which is like a huge pyramid, by the way, in the middle of like Tokyo.
No, the pyramids are in Egypt, Colin.
Yeah,
I may not know much.
I think I'm confused. they were like, I'm like, can we do a little like tour around the space? Because it's a really cool space.
Yeah.
And they're like, sure, but you can't use any of the Bandai properties, only the Namco properties. So we couldn't do like Gundam or God Eater or anything like that. It was really weird.
And that's why this is, look, it's stupid and everyone's making fun of it when it was happening. But truthfully, like, the Dark Souls box art has a Bandai logo. Dark Souls has a Bandai logo on it, yeah. And everything else is Namco here. And then some games start with Bandai Namco, some start with Namco Bandai, some start with just Namco, just Bandai. It's very confusing in the West. I do think that having a Bandai Namco logo on every box and at the beginning of every game makes more sense. And it's like a little dumb, but it does unify it. I think it actually is.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Plus, they're growing quite a bit in the States.
Yeah, so I mean, as they expand out and as Dark Souls becomes bigger and as they do more Pac-Man with arms games, I think they want to have more more unification.
That game was frightening. Yeah, I never finished it.
Oh yeah, weren't you going to review it?
Yeah, I just ran out of time.
Ghostly Adventures?
Yeah,
that
I really wish Colin. I would really love to read the Colin Moriarty review.
It wasn't a bad game. It was certainly not a good game. Number 11. Final one. PS Vita exclusive dungeon crawling JRPG Demon Gaze has a release date. It will launch on April 22nd in North America and April 25th in Europe. I'm super excited about that game. That game looks really, really cool.
Demon Gaze.
Speaking of NIS, the Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc preview will go up this week, and the review will probably go up next week. And that game's really good. So please be excited.
All right. Well, Goldfarb, you know I can't wait for Daggum Rompo, so it's not out yet. Sorry, Colin.
I kept making King Dodongo jokes on Twitter about it.
If I want to know what was in stores right now, what list could I consult?
The official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all three platforms by the IGN.
Wait, were you making so the King Dodongo, whatever Zelda thing? I thought that was you trying to tell me to play Zelda instead of Danganronpa.
No, I was
joke was bad. Therefore,
I was first. I sent you the title or the marker that comes up when you first fight him, and then the second time I sent you a strategy. I was like, if you throw the bomb into his mouth, it will temporarily stun him, allowing you to slash him with your sword.
You're fired. On PlayStation 4. Digitally and at retail, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is out. Ooh. On PlayStation 3, speaking of Bandai Namco, what?
Anybody care about Tomb Raider? You
no,
play it
not
again?
even a little bit.
Yeah, Did you play it the first time?
Yeah, for like a couple hours. Yeah.
I beat
resonate.
it. I beat it. It didn't really resonate with me either. The gameplay's fun, but I really wasn't into the story.
The story was so bad.
If I had known, obviously I couldn't have known. I wish I had waited to play it on PS4.
Right.
Because it does look a lot better, and like Justin was streaming it over the weekend, and I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, it looks a lot better, but I just have no desire to go back.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like I enjoyed my first playthrough of it. I thought it was awesome, like great time. But like, I've never been known for replaying games. But
I also think it's like, it's not like the best looking game or anything, but I think it was really good looking on PS3, and so it wasn't like I was like suffering for playing it. These graphics. That was also before we had that came out the beginning of last year, so that was before we had hands on with either new console. Like I never knew what I was missing out on or anything. So
gotcha.
I don't think I'm gonna go back. But that said, if you have not played Tomb Raider yet, absolutely pick it up on PS4. It is worth playing.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3, Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Z from Bandai Namco.
Z.
Also on Vita, Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Z.
Oh, wow.
What is that name? God,
we didn't get a copy of it ever. Not for preview, not for review. And Namco is usually really, really good about. Like I've had Tales of Symphonia since before Christmas.
Wow.
So when they're confident in the game, they're confident in the game. Yeah. I wouldn't expect much confidence in this game, especially because a studio Art Dink is making it. They're like an old school Japanese studio, but this is the first time they're doing a DBZ game. So we'll have a review of that soon, but we have to go out and buy it, I think.
DBZ, BOZ.
Sure. PlayStation 2 Classic. The essential PS2 game, Mark Davis Pro Bass Challenge.
Thank goodness.
It's about time.
PS1 Classics, Cyber Sled. And the Firemen 2, Pete and Danny.
Okay, that one's awesome. I should buy that one. Play that on my Vita.
It's like Ibn Ab, but with Pete and Danny.
Oh, Pete and Danny, finally.
It's a good week.
It's a great week. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, be part of the show. Email us at beyond@ign.com. Just like Richard did. Richard says beyond.
Beyond.
Over the weekend, I had some Amazon credit I was looking to spend and thought about picking up a PlayStation camera for the PlayStation 4. At Amazon, it is listed for $140 new. And on eBay, these things are selling, not being posted, like actually selling at over $100 a pop. What gives? Is Sony just putting all their production capacity behind the systems? Or can this be seen as something indicative of the future of where the camera will not be supported?
Now, I've heard from sources that the PlayStation camera sold exceptionally well when PS4 came out. And I think it outstripped almost permanently for a while.
It's just a shortage, right? Yeah, you figure the PlayStation Eye back in the day never sold super well.
Right. So,
But the streaming stuff makes this one
right.
That is my regret. I wish I had gotten one at launch because I want to stream with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is, the crux of the issue. That they didn't manufacture enough of them. PlayStation Eye and PS3 was a failure. So they, probably didn't anticipate this much need for it, except for out of the streaming community, which is, bigger than they thought. So it's a good problem for Sony to have, but they probably just don't have the means to manufacture more of them immediately right now. So especially because it's coming out in Japan soon and stuff like that.
Like, I like Playroom, I like streaming. Don't give some jerk $140 for a PlayStation camera. Don't do that. Like, just wait. They will. I don't think this is indicative of anything other than a supply shortage. Like, I would say wait, buy it for $60 in 2 months. Like,
Those first 2 weeks I streamed everything, and since then I haven't. Mainly because I've been playing DC a lot, which I need to communicate with other players, so I don't want my stream to be me trying to talk to the camera, talk to my team, talk to this, do that.
Can I buy your camera for $140?
No, I'm going to hold on to it because the next, as soon as Minecraft comes out, I'll be streaming Minecraft and talking over that nonsense.
Yeah, I want one too, but I'm not going to pay some crazy scalper price. I'll just wait and buy it at retail.
All right. Speaking of cameras, Ignacio writes in and says, "Why does Greg sometimes randomly stare at the camera in a creepy way?" I just do it. Just something.
I almost never look
Easter
at the
egg.
camera.
No, me neither. I like it's
I just
fly
do
on the wall.
Usually I do it because it's one of those things we're talking time. I'm like, oh yeah, we're recording this too. Hello.
Yeah.
And that's
It's a reward for. But I mean, like, it's a reward. I guess it's a reward for the.
That's a
viewers
reward
looking.
for the listener. Greg staring at them. That's a good.
I mean,
reward.
it's whatever gets you. Yeah, whatever you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching us on. Don't forget about the IGN app on PlayStation 4. That's
Ooh.
that's mainly the reason why we put up these things nowadays. Raul writes in. He says, Beyond. Two Souls. Nah, just Beyond. Just Beyond. Oh, you got it.
No, I don't want to hear the rest of it. Next.
Do I get PlayStation Plus has been asked a lot, but I'm not sure if it got answered in my context. Shame on me for not having PlayStation Plus right now, I know. I live in the Netherlands, and the PlayStation 4s are about as common as the White Whale in Assassin's Creed 4. I don't have a PlayStation 4. I do not have a Vita either, but I plan on getting one pretty soon. I might wait for the combo pack if we get one. Yep. So my question is, not having either a PlayStation 4 or a Vita, do I need to get PlayStation Plus now or wait until I have both? I know I'm missing great deals already, but maybe you guys can break it down for me one last time. He's stupid. Stop it. Stop being stupid. You buy it now, and then you download all that stuff and just have it ready. Then you buy the system, and even if they cycle out Uncharted or Gravity Rush, you have those games stored for your Vita. You'd have Don't Starve. If you would have bought it at launch, you'd have Don't Starve, Contrast, and Resogun. Contrast is already gone, so now you can just put the other two in your thing. You go on, you click on them, you say redeem, and then they're just kept to your download. And
Outlast is free next month. So don't be silly.
If you're going to buy it anyway, what's the difference?
There's no harm.
You're going to get money out of it.
Yeah,
and you've given that advice so many times in the show, and
Nobody
it's
listens.
so important.
Everybody hates us.
That is so. You are throwing money away if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber and you don't do that because you have so many incredible games that you could have built up. I'm so happy that still works, and now you could even do it from the app, which is really nice too, from the iPhone app.
Right. Yeah, the iPhone's app.
It's so nice.
You know they're going to cut you off one day on that.
What?
I feel it.
Being able to store
I feel
stuff?
it coming. Yeah, I feel it coming.
In the air.
That would tie into Vince's prediction about raising the prices, cutting back. Shuhei's going to roll up his sleeves.
That's going to be such a blow to do that. They're going to get so much backlash.
Well, maybe they're not. Maybe Vince is wrong.
Well, I don't think they're going to.
Oh.
I don't think that's what I was arguing with Vince.
I can't see it. It's too murky.
Yeah. You can't. Your powers don't reach this far.
Yeah.
It's just so nebulous.
You're like a young mutant. You're still learning your powers, so every day there's a little bit further you can see. So I understand. I hear you on that one. At Sarah Joy writes in, only gives her Twitter name, then starts her thing. My name is Sarah, and I am just curious to know which headsets you all use, either at home or at work. I have the Sony Plus Elite for a while now, and I love it. Hoping the PlayStation 4 patch comes soon. So I was wondering what you all are using.
I'm using my iPhone headphones, which is awesome. I love that you can do that.
Oh, so you're talking about PlayStation 4, what you're using?
Oh yeah. Oh, she's just saying in general.
She's looking for the PlayStation Plus Elite patch eventually for PS4, which is confusing because some headsets do work. They advertised that headsets weren't going to work, and then some headsets did work. Yep. I use the earbud that came with the PlayStation 4. I love that. It's for what I'm using it right now. Right, I just bought a surround system for the house, so I have the game surround around me. Then I can talk to teams through that. But I also have one ear open, so I can hear Colin when he comes out to talk about whatever.
Yeah, I eventually rap. So I bought a wireless headset for PS3.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I honestly never felt I didn't feel like I needed it. I would always forget to charge it and then end up plugging in my other one anyway. So
you're talking about like the Bluetooth headset kind of thing. I hated those things.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm fine with just using an iPhone.
They hurt your
headset.
ear. Yeah.
Yep.
What I liked a lot about when I used a Pulse headset at work for both my laptop and PS3, and then at home when I was using my PlayStation 3 still a lot, used a Pulse headset there too. And what I loved it for was the surround sound and blocking everything else out. Like when I played Dead Space was the first time I played it with Astro A30s or whatever with the surround sound box or whatever. That was amazing. You know what I mean? Because it was like a creepy game. All the lights were off. It was on. I couldn't hear anything else in the house. I was totally lost.
The first
in
Dead Space, the good one?
No, number 2, the better one. Not number 3, the garbage one.
We're gonna have to agree to this. I have a strict no talking on PlayStation Network policy, so I don't use the.
Must make you a
headset.
fun extinction, teammate.
Yeah, I put
What
on,
are you doing? Help us!
I put on like I put out tweets to see if anyone wants to play, and I'm like, just so you know, no mics.
You should just blast 311.
And if someone's on a mic, mute.
Yeah.
Turn on your mic and blast 311 through it.
Yeah, sure. I'm one of those guys. I used to love when people used to do that during like Rainbow Six 3 or whatever back in the day. Yeah, but even with The Last of Us, I never played with a mic either, and I would just scream at my TV.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I know. That was the best. I would hear you through the wall. What are you doing? No, the objective's over there.
I played The Last of Us with headphones and got the crap scared out of me a couple times. So that was dumb. Like when I got a trophy. That's scary. Crap,
It's scary to get a trophy in that game because it doesn't give you any.
Yeah. Grant writes in and says, how does Colin feel about the possibility that Boba Fett might not actually be a clone, but someone who killed the clone and then stole his armor, ship, and name? Love the show Beyond.
Love it.
Yeah?
Love it.
This is one of the J.J. Abrams thingamajigs that they're talking about? The rumors?
Yeah, they know that this is so egregious to real Star Wars fans that they have to do something about it. Right? And so I can deal with that. I can absolutely deal with that.
Yeah.
That makes it all better.
Would that keep what was his original origin story there
He's
for
a
Boba Fett?
Mandalorian, and he comes from like a warrior tribe, and
So this doesn't fix that, does it?
No, it doesn't. But
he could still be a Mandalorian that came from a warrior tribe and then killed that guy and took his armor?
I love that idea that like the guy just killed Boba Fett and then just took over his name and his ship and everything, and no one knew like that. And then that puts Empire and Jedi in a whole new light, which is cool. I think that's actually really cool.
I agree.
That because we don't know who, but like we always say, Boba Fett's mysterious. We don't know who he is. Well, that's the biggest mystery of them all, is that it's not really Boba Fett at all. I'm down. Smart.
Yeah. Okay. It's sort of like the Ben Reilly Peter Parker thing, but handled well. Is what it sounds
that's
like.
okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Gibby writes in and says, Beyond.
Beyond.
Hello all. I was talking to a friend of mine about video game memories when I asked him, if you could re-experience a video game for the first time, what would it be? For me, it's BioShock. The moment you first see Rapture gave me goosebumps. What would yours be? Mine would be Metal Gear. Solid. PlayStation 1. That game changed my life. So obviously being able to go back and play it again, not knowing what was coming, being a little bit smarter because I was pretty stupid back then, would be nice.
I feel weird picking such a recent game, but I really think it would be Journey. I think just going through that again, like, that game hit me so hard, and I just loved it so much. Yeah, the first time I heard that song. I like that you both went with that rather than... oh my God, why can't I remember?
Don't Stop Believing.
Oh my God, my brain just broke for a second. Yeah, I think Journey, though. I think that's one of those games that playing through it again will never feel like it did the first time.
Yeah, no, I agree. That game really got me. Yeah. Mega Man 3 would be mine. Because it's the best game ever made.
You wouldn't be good at it anymore.
No, but
that would be like robbing Beethoven of his piano playing.
Musical prowess? No, but it's well, I'd still be good at it because I was good at Mega Man 2 and 1.
The second you picked... Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. 3 specifically. Okay.
Yeah, 3 is just the best game ever made, so it would be hard to like, that is just a gameplay masterpiece. Just a masterpiece of gameplay. Speaking of games, by the way, that a lot of people
Colin Way?
That's in the same vein. It's not a PlayStation game. It's coming out on Wii U, 3DS, and PC.
Shovel Knight?
Shovel Knight. Holy shit. Am I
gonna play it on your Wii U?
I'll play it on 3DS.
Oh. See, and therein lies the problem with Wii U.
No, I don't.
We'll have to turn on the Wii U in the
living
room.
First, we'd have to find the Wii U under the inch of dust that it's under in my living room, and then we'd have to update the firmware for 2 days, and then...
All right, I didn't mean to pick on the Wii U. I was just asking.
Eject Zombie U from it, since that's probably the last game Greg played in it.
Mario.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna play it on 3DS. And another 3DS story.
That was an aggressive point.
I've been playing Fire Emblem lately. That game's fucking rad.
Fire Emblem, great.
Feeling that game,
Dude. I'm excited that you're getting
feeling
all these
those
3DS
ladders,
games.
yo.
It's hard.
Bravely Default
It's
is
a little nebulous. It's a little nebulous. Bravely Default.
That is a Colin game.
I'm gonna pick that. I actually asked to review it. Believe it or
So
not. But,
what you should
it
do,
was already
Colin,
taken.
if you play the demo of Bravely Default, it's not content that's in the main game. It's a separate side mission, and the shit you unlock you can put into your main game. So play through the demo, see if you like the battle system and stuff, and that'll.
I'm sure I will. I don't watch much video or do much research on like games that like I'm not super excited about. Like where I hear a name and I'm like I'll wait until it's reviewed or whatever. It's just too much time. Too many things to do. But that was a game where I'm like everyone's like this is Square Enix Return to Form, and I was like okay, and I went and looked at it, I'm like oh yes, yes. And,
I haven't started. I can't wait to start.
Yeah, super excited about that. But I started playing. I had Fire Emblem since before it came out. Like I had the code and I downloaded it, and I was like I'm gonna finally really sit down and play with it. I've only messed with it a little bit. It's like not perfect. I think there's actually a lot of problems with the game, but I love what it's trying to do, and I love that it's too bad it's on that hardware. You know what I mean? Like and I don't mean that disparaging the 3DS because it's got great games on it, but like I would have loved to have something more like that on Wii U or something like that, because like when you think about Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre or Front Mission or like the great strategy RPGs of all time, they look really good for the time. And the maps are really fleshed out and everything like that, but the map is just relegated. Like it's not even important. You know what I mean? Like it's just like so small and shitty looking. That really bothers me about the game. But I love the combining your characters and all that. This is a pretty deep game.
Yeah, for sure.
And what always bothered me about Fire Emblem in the past, not that I have like super amount of experience with it because I don't, it's just that it was very linear in a sense. Like you just went, and it didn't have that Final Fantasy Tactics feel of like really spending time with your characters and customizing them and really going crazy with that. And apparently this game takes care of that problem. So I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what you think. I really, I would really love for you to give Spelunky another try too.
I will.
I'm playing a lot of Spelunky. I said to Colin,
I'm playing Danganronpa right now.
I said to Colin over Christmas break, King Dodongo. I said to Colin over break that him not playing Spelunky feels to me like one of those movies where there's like a really tall dude in the high school who's never played basketball in his life, and the coach like recruits him, and like at first he sucks, but then he becomes like the best player.
That's how
Colin will be with Spelunky.
All those 8-bit sensibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I like
saving
Spelunky.
it for Shovel Knight.
I'm not crazy like you guys are.
I'm saving myself for Shovel Knight, guys.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
You're saving yourself for Shovel Knight. Wow.
There's only so much old school. Like when Mega Man 10 came out, I didn't play anything but Mega Man 10 for like 2 months. And I feel like Shovel Knight is going to be the same thing. I'm just like I'm going to be so fucking obsessed with the parallax scrolling and it's so beautiful.
He doesn't even pick up Infamous.
March 31st.
Similar to what we're talking about here, Matt writes in and says, "Hey fellers.
Hello.
Yo.
I've been playing GTA Online religiously since release, putting all of my gaming free time into it. The problem is that I stopped playing all other games and have been missing out. I have a handful of games that are certainly more worth my time, but haven't gotten to them. Have any games ever done this to you? I still haven't finished Persona or Virtue's Last Reward since getting my Vita." I think, it happens all the time, right?
Yeah, Borderlands 2 was that game for me.
Yep.
I was ignoring everything. Spelunky is now that game for me.
For 3 years running, DC Universe Online's been that game for me.
When Little Big Planet first, like the first time I got ready, especially Little Big Planet 2, like, that was all I played. It's
one of those weird things is like we have a job where we're expected to know so much about every game, right? So I feel like there's those moments where you get a chip on your shoulder of like, I want to keep playing this, but I'll stop and play this game. Oh, this game. You know what I mean?
That's what I did with Beyond Two Souls.
Oh, really?
Where I was like, well, here we go. And then,
gotta try this thing, I guess.
And, not terrible, but not good.
Yeah, but when you're like in the mood for something else, right? And like the job makes us play something else.
Yeah, no, it does suck.
Tough.
I did The Last of Us. I played for 40-something hours, so that probably took a few weeks. So that took me out of it. But that was a good time to do it.
Did you get the platinum? Or you just
no, I got all the multiplayer trophies. I didn't get the platinum.
You have to beat this.
Those are the hardest trophies to get, though. So I was like, well, I'm gonna chill now for a little while.
Yeah.
And the guy who makes the trophy, did the trophies at Naughty Dog, was tweeting at me like, "Good luck" and all these.
Has he apologized for doing all these multiplayer trophies yet?
No, I don't know who let him do that.
Probably should stop that.
Who let him off the friggin' leash? Especially because there could have been so many cool trophies in that game. Nonetheless,
David Ballard fucked up.
I did. I also recently, frankly, I've been doing that with Call of Duty, which is weird, but I fucking love it.
No, good for you.
Extinction mode is awesome.
I like when I hear that.
Here's the thing about Call of Duty, by the way. I beat Call of Duty Ghosts on Veteran, easiest Call of Duty campaign. The antithesis of World at War, which made me want to fucking burn something down and throw my PlayStation out the window. That game was fucking impossible.
Was it somebody's restaurant because they called you Chief?
Yeah, because they called me Chief.
I think that's also
that game was impossible. Impossible. Like I consider myself pretty good at games, and and you can stick with it. Games today, you can beat them if you stick with them. There's nothing like when we were kids. But World at War was fucking hard, man.
Yeah, but World at War is also the worst all around Call of Duty game since Call of Duty. Like since Call of Duty 4 changed everything. Like in all those games, I think Black Ops is good and Treyarch has become really, really good. And Infinity Ward, you know, however you feel about Modern Warfare, but World at War is like this weird standalone, just terrible thing. Not terrible, but I really
it is
don't
what
like
it is,
that
I
game.
guess. But it took everything out of me. So when I played Ghosts, I really liked the campaign, and I was like, all right, well, Extinction Mode's kind of cool. Some trophies attached to it. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm like, this is fucking rad. And there's only one map. And you do the same thing over and over and over again. And for some reason, I almost beat it. It's cool. I'm getting like a little bit farther. Finally, like we detonate the nuclear weapon, and we're running away or whatever. And I like make it almost to the ship. You know, it's hard. Like there's all these tricks and tips you have to do to get out of there. I don't understand yet.
If I'm not mistaken, the new DLC, which is out today on Xbox, will be out a month in on PS3, PS4, has a new what is it? Extinction mode.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So
yeah.
It's really fun. I'd love to get you guys on it actually and give it a try because it's just.
Well, I have it on
there's
Xbox.
There's something about it. There's something about it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been Podcast Beyond, episode 326. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, be part of the show. Beyond at IGN.com. Remember, we post it, this MP3, every Tuesday on IGN, on iTunes, all your favorite podcast services. Then Wednesday, the video goes live on IGN.com. And remember, while Podcast Beyond is all fun and games, Andrew Goldfarb, it's IGN.com that keeps the lights and mics on. So go there, read the reviews, watch the videos, and hey, why don't you download the PlayStation 4 app? A lot of people seem to like it. It's all the video content there, including this video. Hooray!
Yay!
Until next time, you can keep up with us on Twitter. IGN's IGN. I'm Game Over Greggy. Colin is No Taxation. Andrew Goldfarb is Garfep. Boom. Nailed it.
You don't have to write down anymore.
Boom. Like a motherfucker. 326 episodes in.
Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.